Hi Cohen, it's Mrs. Hale. I just wanted to make a quick video for you to review what we learned this year about mean, median, mode, and range. When you have a data set of numbers, data is just another word for numbers. And the data set is just a list of numbers. So, for example, if you had these for grades, for example, let's say you had a 96 on one assignment, a 41 on another assignment, a 98, a 65, and an 84. So to find the mean, what we would do, the steps we would do, and you'd use your calculator for this, would be to add up all the numbers in our data set. If I add all of those numbers up, I get 384 as the sum. Sum is our answer when we add. Okay, so I'm going to take the sum and I'm going to divide by the number of numbers that we have in our data set. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in your calculator, you're going to put the sum, which is 384, and you'll divide that by 5 because we have 5 numbers. All right, so what you would be doing if you were doing this without a calculator, which I know you can do very well because you're super good at math, is I know that 5 goes into 38 7 times, that's 35. If I subtract, I have 3 left over. I bring down my 4. Okay, 5 goes into 34 6 times. There's 6 groups of 5 in 34. 6 times 5 is 30. Subtract, I have 4 left over. So I have a remainder of 4. However, when we're finding the mean of a set of numbers, we don't want to have remainders. So to get rid of the remainder, hopefully you remember this. We add a decimal and a 0, and I just shoot my decimal straight up and I'm done with it. I bring the 0 down, oops, and I have 8 groups of 5 and 40. So this would be 8 here. 8 times 5 is 40. Subtract, we have nothing left over. So if you were doing this on your calculator, you would end up with 76.8. So what that means is that if you had those as grades, your mean for those numbers or for those grades or your average would be 76 8/10. Okay, so that's how you find the mean. You add up to find the sum of all the numbers in your data set, and then divide by the number of numbers that you have in your data set. All right, and that will give you the mean or the average. The next problem, or the next thing that we can learn about a data set of numbers, is the median. Median is when we put the numbers in our data set, if we put those in order from least to greatest, which I've done here, 41, 65, 84, 96, and 98. So least to greatest. And then I'm going to look and I'm going to find what is the middle number. So sorry, Cohen, I'm making this video on my phone and it's kind of hard to write and hold the phone at the same time. But the middle number, so I'm just going to say, okay, this is the first and this is the last. I'm looking for the middle. So a good strategy is to cross off the first and the last, the second and the second to last. And what we're left with is 84. So for this data set, 84 is the median, okay? But let's say you had a data set that might look like this, where you're not going to be able to have just one number left. So if I did the same strategy, I cross off the first and the last, the second and the second to last. I'm left with 2 numbers there. It's super easy. We just go back up to what we learned about mean, and we're going to find the mean or the average for 6 and 8. So remember, we add those 2 numbers. 6 plus 8 is 14. Divide by the total number. There's 2. 2 divided into 14 would be 7. So your median for this data set is 7. Okay, and it's 84 up here. All right, mode. So if we looked at the same numbers that we've been looking at, 96, 41, 98, 65, and 84. Mode is the number that occurs most frequently. There's not a number there that's repeated. There's only one of each of those numbers there. 196, you only have 141, 198, 165, and 184. So that data set of numbers has no mode. Okay? Here's a different example. 1578, 22, 1578, 119. So that data set has two numbers that occur most frequently, which is 15 and 78. So the mode for that data set is going to be 15 and 78. So the mode is the number that happens or occurs most frequently. Okay, and then the last one is the range. Okay, using our same numbers that we've been using here. Just like when we did the median, we put them in order from least to greatest. When we find the range, we also need them in order from least to greatest. So I'm back to using the same numbers that I did at the very beginning. I have 41, 65, 84, 96, and 98 put in order from least to greatest. The range is the difference between the greatest value and the least value. So when we find a difference, we subtract. So I'm going to take, once they've been put in order from least to greatest, I'm going to find the difference between 98, which is our greatest value, and 41, which is our least value. When we subtract those two to find the difference, we get 57 left. So 57 is the range, the difference between the least value and the greatest value. Thanks, Cohen.